God. Okay, so now.
We are live with this freaking Canadian and his little mutt. I'm coming to you guys live and direct from no other than NARBC Arlington. Pretty cool. I'm here with the CEO.
What's going on, buddy?
Good, how are you?
I am very well, thank you. Staying out of trouble?
Yeah.
We can't
He
say
wants to get
that.
his legs hurt. We're definitely
Snowboarding?
a little jet lag. Drove 5 hours yesterday to go see my daughter, his sister, my grandsons, his nephews. That's how it works in America. Like as far as um relatives go, I don't know how you Canadians do it, but that's how we do it here in the States. Just give you a quick little lesson there.
Yeah,
Um,
be careful what I say.
looks like it's gonna be a good show, you jerk. You were gonna say something racist, I could tell.
I was not. Actually, truth be told, I've seen reports of OPP showing up at people's houses for being too vocal online. So,
Saying what? Who? What?
OPP showing up at certain individuals' residences to give them information on peaceful protesting. Ironically, people who may have been a little vocal on social media about certain protests going on. So,
Wow. You're really living in a communist state now, aren't you?
it's kind of scary, man. It's kind of scary the way
So,
things are getting twisted around. But anyways, that's neither here nor there right now. Let's stay on topic. Drive-in was good.
I think that is on topic. I mean, we talked about it last week. So far, every one of my shows has discussed it at some level. But if you're going to talk about big government and government being involved, I mean, what's going on right now with the America Competes Act is really scary. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it before. You know how I feel about these types of power grabs and political moves, lobbyists, and how that whole operation works. And I've encouraged anybody that watches and listens to us to look into lobbying and how that is a profit-motivated industry and is very much based on making money and has very little to do with actually the betterment of society, so to speak. So, playing on people's sentiments.
Well, when you have a 3,000, 4,000 page document and it just has a little blurb in there regarding the amendment to the Lacey Act, it's obviously intentional to just try to slip it by. And I think that's the main reason why we need so many people to be vocal. I mean, if you from Canada are spreading awareness and trying to get people to get on board because you're clear of the domino effect that takes place, it just saddens me. And be honest, it's disappointing to see how many people are really they're just fallu they aren't phased in the least because they really think it can't happen. And
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that would rather rely on everybody else to fight the fight, or like you said, they don't think it's really going to happen, or they don't realize how much went into the last few scares, or they don't, the really naive don't see how it'll affect them if they're not in the same country as you. But I mean, we were discussing this the other day, how much money goes back and forth, how many trades, how many deals go back and forth between our two countries, let alone the rest of the world. So there's a lot of people that stand to be very, very deeply affected depending on how this goes. And there's a lot of industries that are going to lose out incredibly depending on how this domino effect goes. So hopefully, enough people are getting their shit together and are spreading awareness and donating where they can and supporting the USARC where they can. And, spreading the word. Somebody actually commented the other day, and as a follower, and I like them very much, they've been a big supporter, commented on a post I made about condemning the Lacey Act. And they were right in the sense of they said, we shouldn't condemn the actual act, but just the small part about the reptiles, which is very true. You know, as some people have pointed out, the act in its entirety is not a bad act. You know, I don't know much about it, being from Canada and not having too much need to research into it too far. But my outlook on it is that there's a lot of people that are completely unaware of it, and strong statements garnish attention, and attention garnishes awareness, and that awareness, those people that are actually going to do something about it are going to take the time to read up on why someone might be condemning the Lacey Act and what is involved, and we'll put two and two together. I think you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, so to speak. So they were very right in pointing that out, and I don't disagree with them. But I did want to make a point to that, as to sometimes it's best to just get attention to it. It's kind of like the concept of yelling fire instead of help. People don't necessarily respond to help, but they respond to fire. And the fact of the matter here is we're trying to raise awareness and garnish attention towards this issue, because we all stand to lose greatly. So
it's scary, and I mean, it's a topic that has been discussed. It's pretty cool. Samson and I walked around. They're setting up. They're getting ready for the show. You get some one-on-one time. It's a lot quieter tomorrow. Obviously, they're all trying to make money. They're here to vend. But it's definitely a hot topic. It's definitely a hot topic.
That's a good thing. I mean, I see a lot more awareness this time around than I did last time. I want to say it was last winter. I remember getting up early and sitting in my car before work listening to the podcast, and you know how hard I am about listening to things on podcasts from other places. But I do remember listening to that and people calling in and making their points. And I think we've raised a lot more awareness this time around so far, and I see a lot bigger names getting involved, which is nice, because one post from some of these individuals can do 100 times, create 100 times the awareness that all of our combined posts together watching right now could ever hope to do. So it's nice to see that people are getting motivated. I would like to see more large name Canadians out there supporting it. I'm not naming any names, but I haven't seen very many people trying to raise awareness in Canada, which is slightly disappointing, because again, I've said before, there's a lot of business going back and forth, and if you guys can't buy, then we can't sell, and if we can't sell to you, well, guess what? We just lost one country that we can't export to, as a matter of fact. And right now, the U.S. is the only other country that I export to, and that would hurt my business greatly to not be able to export to you guys and to be able to do business with you guys. So it's not just the Americans that are affected. And there are many other countries and many other dealers that deal with the U.S. It's not just Canada. And I'm not trying to just talk about our problems, but I can only speak from my own opinion.
Well, not for nothing, but if this law is passed and it's not redacted and actually stands in place, because I'm gonna be very, very honest with the way the legal system works. There's a really good chance this law is going to pass, because what we're discussing is not abolishing the Lacey Act. It's the amendment to the Lacey Act that's the concern, and the bill is actually overall, for the most part, a decent bill. Okay, it's just this little blurb in there that will dramatically affect thousands and thousands and thousands of us directly, and then it will affect. It could be hundreds of thousands of people as pet owners, and I think that's the sad part, where this isn't something new for us. We've had these fights before. We're aware of doing these awareness campaigns, but this affects that person, that maybe has birds or fish or
Man, this
things.
can affect everybody. Absolutely everybody can be affected depending on how this goes. And somebody pointed out something very valuable as well, is that they can change these animals listed on the white list as they choose. So what one day is legal may be completely illegal the next, and we could potentially get, or not we, but you guys could potentially get caught in a situation where you're just simply trying to transport an animal from one location to another. And, you know, suddenly you're liable to face a huge fine and be considered a criminal for transporting an animal. And don't think for a second that if it doesn't fly through the United States without a problem, that other countries aren't going to be looking at the same thing, going, "Hey, we can do that too." Canada's going to be next, guys. Don't kid yourselves. We've already seen these games. We see it around the world, global elitists, etc. Without getting too far into politics, the facts of the matter remain is that the more unified the world becomes, the less freedoms we have, and the more laws that you or see are going to be united across the globe. So it's important for people to stand up and say, we don't like this. This is not acceptable to us. We pay taxes. We vote you in. We vote you out. And quite frankly, we are the people that decide who govern us. So this is what we want. And we have every right to request that as free citizens in a free country. So, but if we don't exercise these rights, don't be surprised if they're taken away. Look at how many rights have already been taken away over the last, you know. Look at how these things go. The more complacent you are, the more you're going to lose. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, so to speak, and the more we fight and the more we make it known that we're not going to accept this, the more likely it is that they will listen and be willing to come to some sort of agreement. So it's up to us.
You know, I think for the fact that, and you just said it, that so many of the really big names have already worked on awareness and sharing this shows that they're scared. They're frightened.
This is our livelihood. You know, I tell guys all the time, I don't gamble, so to speak, except for reptiles. I don't invest, so to speak, except for reptiles. This business is my retirement plan. This is where I make the extra money to save, to be able to hopefully, you know, fulfill my dreams, etc. And you take that away, man, that's 10 years of work and dreams down the toilet. Like, especially when you're supposed to live in a capitalist society where we're encouraged to work and build a business and to make money and to contribute to the system. Like, I don't know about you, but when I bring money in, I reinvest it. I reinvest it into merchandise to give to people who purchase. I reinvest it into, you know, printing products. I reinvest it into programs such as Reptile Scanner, Husbandry Pro, etc., as we were talking about offline. Reinvested into different products like new thermostats, new racking systems. All these things help that economy move forward and to grow. And when you take that away, well, guess what? You're taking that away from all those other industries. So everybody stands to lose from this. And I think that the best way to make the government aware of these things is to let them know how much money they can stand to lose. Because guess what? If I can't sell reptiles, I can't pay the government taxes for the reptiles that I've sold. And I pay tax on every animal that I sell. When you go on a morph market, you don't see the tax in there, but I've already calculated it in because I have to pay tax to the government. I'm a registered business. I have to, you know, I have a registered HST number, etc. So at the end of the day, the government's losing money as well for doing this, because if I can't breed reptiles and I can't sell reptiles, well, guess what? You're losing out on that income. So you're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul, you know? So, but again, they may not necessarily be aware of just how big this industry is or just how much money is in this industry because people don't speak up, you know?
Well, Dave Wallenhand, he did What's in Your Cup with me on Wednesday, and he had mentioned this as well about contacting the West Virginia senator because he may be that swing vote. So in addition to contacting your senators, everyone should be reaching out to the West Virginia senator as well. But at minimum, I mean, if you haven't contacted your senators, if you haven't supported USR and you're still on Instagram posting pictures and wanting, you know, and I'm not saying let's not continue to enjoy, you know, the fruit of our labor. Let's not continue to spread awareness about these wonderful animals. But there has to be some sort of balance. There has to be, you know, let people see that you've contacted your senators. Let people see the responses you've got. Don't go. And when I talk about the USR, it's specific to the USR. Okay, we don't need different agendas. Sometimes you don't realize you may think you're doing well, but you're just creating division, or you're taking energy that is being wasted. So whatever energy you're putting towards is follow the guidance. It's legal guidance. No change.org or other online petition site has ever changed a law, has ever stopped a bill from being passed, has ever taken um, has ever gone to court and overturned a bill. None of that has ever happened, but USARC has done that. Okay, so whatever guidance and legal guidance that USARC is providing, put your energy there. Now, change.org and all those other petition sites, I will give them the credit that they spread awareness, right? They do spread awareness of the situation, but most people don't do more than click a button there, and then you'll have people that think they're doing well by donating money, but that's not helping us. Follow the guidance from USR. Build off of the form letter that USARC has created. Contact the senators. Military Morris has put out a great list of.
They've done a lot of the hard work, and sorry, not to interrupt, but you brought up a point that I wanted to segue into. That's a great example of, and I'm not saying they're in that situation, but for people out there that don't have the money to invest, or that don't, can't afford to support USARC financially, something as simple as what Military Morphs did by assembling all that information, gathering all the links together, getting all the emails, all the phone numbers, correlating all into one post, made things so much easier for so many people. Because let's face it, you may have the best intentions, but you're busy. You're running around. You're doing your daily routine. You scroll through. You say, oh, yeah, okay, hey, I got to make sure I support USARC, or I got to write to my senator. Oh, I can't get that link. Okay, yeah, I'll copy it down. Phone rings, whatever. Guess what? You've forgotten about it. Military Morphs combined it all together. All you had to do is press the link and go from there. Thank you guys so much for doing that. That's a great example of things that can be done to help the cause that don't take any financial commitment. A little bit of time, a little bit of effort makes a huge deal.
So Rudy from Moon Over Miami is asking, the thing is, are they generic emails being sent back from the senators? Yes, of course they're generic emails.
We don't have time to respond to everybody, and I don't think, no disrespect,
you're going to get a generic email. You will get a generic response to any faxes you send in. You will get a generic response if you make a phone call. What happens is, in politics, when elected officials, and the key word is elected, when elected officials feel that their votes are being threatened, that is what determines
that's their motivator
they will make. Okay, especially if they're not at the end of their term. If there's a re-election in sight in the future, and a lot of these elections, depending on where you live, don't take that many to make it happen. So this is how our system works. It's based on numbers. That's why people always say there is power in numbers. So the more people that are calling their local elected officials, that are calling their state senators, and their senators see that you are a vote, that you threaten their livelihood with the power that you have, the more they listen. So if your senator has only gotten, or has only sent out 10 of these generic emails, nothing's going to happen. But if they're sending out 100, if they're sending out thousands of responses, I promise you, they've heard the issue. I promise you, it's on their agenda. I promise you, they're going back to renegotiate the terms of whoever slipped it in, because they wanted to get this in there.
They don't want to get in shit for it.
there's $150 million allocated to hiring enforcers basically in the bill. There's a lot of good stuff that goes on in the bill, but I always say whatever happens in politics, you always have to follow the money. More often than not, someone is benefiting from all of this financially, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with the the benefit of the people.
No, it'll be the benefit of
I
somebody's
haven't received an
pocketbook.
hashtag dude says I haven't received an actual message from any senators. All lame ass generic copycat reply, but I still write daily. That is great because if you continue to write daily, you are continuing to keep the topic fresh. Now, can you get five other people to write your same senator daily? Can those five people get five more people to write daily? And then all of a sudden, you have a few dozen people that are pressing the issue. They're supposed to, the Forward Reptile says, there's supposed to be a public commenting period. That's what really needs to be targeted. They, by law, have to read each comment.
This is true, but remember the bullshit they pulled last time. And this is where
Right.
we talk about lobbyists and money motivating things. Don't think for a second that there aren't false comments being put in from the opposing side to push their view and to make it seem like there's more people for this than there is against it, especially if there's some sort of large financial gain going on behind the scenes.
So you don't have to poke the bear, okay? He said he didn't vote for his senators, and he's not voting for them again. We don't need to poke the bear. Let them think that they're getting your vote, but keep pressing the issue. Guys, honestly, like,
It doesn't matter whether
I
you
just
hear
read-
back from them. It just matters that you're bugging them. Keep bugging them.
I-
Keep
I'm
messaging
at,
them.
I'm at Arlington.
Hell, do it from different email accounts. you
Yep,
know what I mean?
Oh,
You
I
can
did it.
send 10 different
did
email
it.
accounts, and that shows up as 10 different emails to them.
I did it. Listen, I did it in triplicate. I did it from 3 different email accounts.
There
I
you
have
go.
3
Do it from your moms. Do it from your dads. Do it from your
No,
brothers,
I
your
have
sister, your
3
girlfriend,
different
your
phone
wife.
numbers. I have 3 different addresses. So
Make your
I
voices
did everything
heard.
in triplicate.
Create extra emails. Get your dog to vote. Like, you know? They're not playing by the rules.
I'm about to start using my family members' small addresses. Do it. Do it.
Better,
And
man.
guys, reach out. You have to understand something. This affects pretty much every animal that's not a cat, a dog, or a farm animal. So this is not specific to reptiles. And again, I hate, having to talk about the same things over and over again. But until I see more people showing some sort of effort, putting some type of energy on their social media pages to this, it obviously hasn't penetrated. I've seen people say it where they're like, "Oh, it's not going to pass. Oh, you don't understand. You did not read."
You want to take that chance?
I don't.
You know what I mean?
definitely
I know you don't. I don't want to. It's not worth it. You know what I mean? We've talked about this before. And I mean, as an example, I went around and invested in US ARC, and we've talked about this before. Why
So
did I invest in US ARC?
I agree with John. Send it from your wife's email account and her phone number. Send it from your girlfriend's email account and phone number. But don't let the two know that they exist. Okay? You can't let the two know that they exist. My dad has been speaking out against it as well. He doesn't have snakes, he keeps birds, but he is spreading the word to all his
You
bird
got an
keeping
animal,
friends.
you should be speaking out against it. If you have an animal, a fish, a dog, a cat, a bird, it doesn't matter.
And I think that's huge right there, where people are starting to see, hey, this affects us as well. Okay? This affects us as well. Let's get everybody.
Don't
Listen, there's power in numbers, guys. That's it to the
don't give me
bottom.
this shit of, oh, you know, this isn't gonna be that bad, or they won't do that, or you know, this isn't so bad. Remember when they said it was only gonna be 2 weeks? Anybody remember that? Remember
Yep.
when they said, "Oh, don't worry, this is don't worry, don't worry, don't." Man, hope is a dangerous thing, and hope is a very dangerous weapon sometimes, and it can be used against us. So just use your head, guys. Think about these things. Fight back. Say no. It's going to affect all of us. And don't believe what
Again,
they tell you.
you have to remember that the bill is actually a decent bill. So the America Competes Act has a lot of good stuff in there. So most senators or their staff aren't going to read through 3,000 pages. You know, they're fattening up the bill so that way things can get lost in translation and can't slip through. It's this isn't done by accident. Okay.
No, they have obligations to meet.
This is very, very intentional.
But the same idea is when you catch someone doing something wrong and you call them out on it, the more likely it is that they're going to stop doing it. But if you don't call them out on it, they're just going to keep doing it.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like I'm scared. And to see the big names in the industry scared, I'm scared. I started this with my son, and this was supposed to be something that we could work on very far into his future. What an amazing thing going on here in Arlington to see so many great things. Pack Pythons is here. He has his actual rack there, ready to get his racks. I mean, there's so many people that have invested. To see Earl from Lone Star with the tattoo across his forearm. You know, they say it all the time. You know, everything's big in Texas, and he got a big old tattoo across his forearm that says U.S. on it. You know, the majority of the people here aren't from here. Okay, you have people that drove. Noodle Morphs drove 16 hours from Kentucky to set up shop here in Venn. Okay, and guess what? This all goes away. Even the people that just enjoy going to a reptile show to see all the different animals, it all goes away. The majority of the people here crossed state lines to come and vend here. Like the entire reality that we've grown to love disappears with ink on paper. Make as much noise as possible. Do we have any idea of when this bill is being put in front of the Senate for a vote yet? I'm sure it's scheduled. I don't know the exact time. All I know is that we just need to make noise every single day. If you reached out to your senators, that's great. I love what Hugh said. He does it daily. Even if it's an email, think about that. If that email box gets full every single day, they have to go to the
Same
email.
subject heading over and over and over and over. Their emails.
John said in about Underworld said in about 4 to 6 weeks. So guys, we don't have much time. Okay, we really don't have much time. You know, make noise, be proud. This is one of the things you should all be bragging about, and you should have posted on your social media over and over again. I contacted my senator. I did this. I did that. I got this person. Let's challenge people, okay, to get someone else, right? Challenge, power in numbers. Get your neighbors, okay? Get your neighbors to do it. Get your kids, classmates, parents to do it. All right? I challenge you to challenge others. We need to continue to make noise. When you see Jay's Prehistoric and you see Brian Barczyk and Justin, they're frightened. This is what these people have made their living off of for decades. They're frightened by this bill. If that doesn't shake you up and make you realize that we're in a world of trouble with our the battle is already halfway lost, just so we're clear. Okay? This battle is halfway lost. All right? It made it past the House. So don't stop at your senators. Get to your representatives. Contact your congressman and ask them what the hell were they thinking. Ask them, did you know that you passed a bill that had this in it, and this affects most of your constituents because most of your constituents have a love or an affinity for an animal that can be whitelisted. Okay, reach out to your congressman, although they already made their mistake. Reach out to them and let them know that you're not cool with this. So, guys, make noise. You're gonna keep hearing about this for the next few weeks. Make noise, all right? So, what else is going on? You said you were using Reptiscan, and basically you don't know what the hell you're doing, right? Because they don't have a Canadian version.
No, I was using Reptiscan, and all of a sudden I went to log in to create another animal, and it basically said that the website was unsafe and was theoretically under attack by hackers. You know, when it says, like, if you continue, it's unsafe, we've tracked malware or whatever, and then when you look at the advanced comments underneath, it'll say, like, this is a sign of the website's currently under some sort of cyber attack, try again later. So I was like, well, I tried for basically an hour and then said, all right, well, you know what? No disrespect, but fuck this. And so now I'm working with Husbandry Pro, and we'll see. It's certainly a hell of a lot more detailed of a program. I'm not talking at the pros they're asking.
Listen, Husbandry Pro, great idea. A new program. I know that they were working through all their bugs. Reptiscan I've heard too many stories of people losing everything because of a glitch. Man, I will continue to use pen and paper and
yeah, but like, man, I'm so tired of these cue cards and redoing cue cards, and I've got stacks and still, like, you see the cue cards in behind me. I've got stacks of those from years that I've saved to check things. I'm tired of that, man. I'm tired of how it looks. I want a nice, clean QR code scan.
Yeah, but if you I use Google Sheets, man.
I know you do. We've talked about this, but I don't have the time to be writing all this information down the same way as scanning.
You get used to it. Listen, when I feed my animals, I still weigh the animal first. I still weigh the food first. I still monitor, if they didn't eat and see why and keep that data. It's still color coordinated. If they eat, it goes green. If they don't eat, it goes red. If it goes red 2 feedings in a row, I'm switching things up. It's not that hard. It's not tedious either. You could do it on your phone. You could do it on your laptop. And I love the fact that I don't see Google going down,
Mm-hmm.
All these other things, man, they just freaking glitch out. And Husbandry Pro is to me, it's too new. Reptiscan has already had too many glitches, and at the end of the day, you're still working to get that data in there.
Fair enough.
You want me to design a spreadsheet for you, honey?
I'm not going to use it. Design an app, put a QR code in it, send it to my phone, then we'll try it out, and I'll let you know what I
think. QR code is just too much work, man. Like, I don't know why people do all that work. You still got to decide I don't know. Freaking, you put a number in a little box on a spreadsheet. It works every time like a charm. All right, so what else is new in the world of Vanilla Ice?
Oh, wow. Man, I've just been kind of focusing on cleaning, etc. I'm thinking about culling everything, all the rats off, and restarting that cycle again. I'm interested.
So how long does that whole restart take you?
It could take a few months. It just kind of depends how long I start in, whether I'm bringing in, mature animals from elsewhere, or whether I'm using old colony stock, so to speak, or babies, etc. But
so you getting low production, and that's the reason why you want to do it?
Yep. I'm not getting the same numbers anymore. So, and
my females,
I got some females that could stand to benefit greatly from the extra calories from a few mature rats. So, as much as I don't like doing it, we've discussed it before, I generally like to let my adults retire in peace, so to speak. I'm strongly considering, because of the cost of betting and the cost of food and the cost of fuel and everything is rising exponentially with the incurred inflation and everything else that's going on in the world right now. One has to, roll with the times, so to speak, and evolve. And also with looking at what the hell's going on right now in the States, man. I mean, everything's up in the air. This is not the first time that I've contemplated the future of this industry and where it's going to go and what's going to happen with it. And I mean, by no means am I any sort of guru or predictor of economies, but yeah, man, I'm certainly on my toes trying to see what happens. The other thing that I'm really scared about is what it's going to do to the market.
Yeehaw! I am in Texas. I saw Mary today. That was pretty cool. There's a lot of people here. I saw Eric from Drop Time. I had an awesome conversation with Gen Z with that duo. I mean, those young guys are going to be a force to reckon with. Really, really good heads on their shoulders. We spoke with Shamir's here, Royal Black Balls. Shamir's here. I saw OK Balls, Noodle Morphs. Nice. Justin is here, of course. US Arc is here. Pretty great turnout. Of course, Best Dressed Balls is here. JD Constrictors is here. I told him about my snake that did the complete color change and how we kind of rode his coattails. And since he had the Stormtrooper, we named her Chewbacca. Nice. There's a nice group here. Hardwire Exotics is here. He brought some of his knives. Samson and I, we watched Forge and Fire a lot. So Samson loved looking at his knives. Pack Pythons is here with racks. That's so awesome to see a concept come into fruition. ARS Racks is here. They have a huge, they bring the big trailer out, and it's a great event. And you it's a sweet and sour
feeling.
So cool to have this experience, but it's so scary to know that it's being threatened right now, and we can actually lose this. So it's a sweet and sour experience right now. A couple of degenerates are here.
Yeah, who'd you run into?
Swamp Water and Black Tie.
Nice.
Yeah, you got your people here representing.
I was just speaking with Saz just the other day, actually. We're talking about Tinley.
Restart. What the hell, Jason? You don't hold back some gals for future breeding. So I was thinking the same thing, Slater. Like, why not just grow them up, and then when they grow up, you move out the old ones? I mean, hell, I had some retired breeders. I opened up the tub before I got to feed them, and I had 5 babies in there. I was like, well, I guess she really wasn't retired.
How did you not notice she was pregnant? Looks like they have a tennis ball inside them when they're pregnant like that. How did you miss that?
Yeah, what a jerk. And I was just talking about you a little while back with Gen Z Reptiles, that the night he comes back, we look like we lost our budget. I am driving about an hour to my buddy's house in Texas, and I'm going to hang with him for the night, and we're going to have dinner and hang out, and then I'll be back in Arlington tomorrow, and I'll be staying in Arlington with Samson tomorrow, and we're doing the show. We did the VIP thing, so we were there today for the setup, tomorrow for the show, and then we'll go back to the show for a little while on Sunday, and then we'll hit Six Flags on Sunday, and then it's back to sub-zero weather.
Yeah, it's been cold.
So this freaking jerk decided to finally freaking pay his internet bill so he could come watch the show again.
Who's this?
Steve.
Oh.
I guess Jason didn't pay the electricity bill. Well, you just heard he probably lost a lot of revenue because he's restarting the whole rat operation.
That's it.
Jason needs more glow sticks.
I have 15 meters of LED cable that I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put it. It's going to get a lot more greener in here, kids.
Jason is back to Matrix Green. They all get a kick out of abusing.
I know. You've started a trend.
All right, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but SI&r guys, go give them $5. If that's all you can do, go get. If you can't give them $5, I keep telling you over and over again. DM me that you
posts,
can't
one post a day for the next 5 days. Support
if
USR.
You don't have $5 to send SI&r, send me a DM, and we will figure something out in your name. Send me a DM and I'll give you a list of
pets.
stuff.
It doesn't just have to be reptiles. Anybody you know with pets, dogs, cats, tell them, let them know, hey, guess what? You won't be able to bring the dog, potentially. You won't be able to bring the cat. I mean, obviously, these animals aren't necessarily under threat right now, but the fact of the matter remains, every animal can be subject to this list, as I understand it. So,
no cats, no dogs, no farm animals. So I got a snake farm, man.
That's it. It's still an agricultural business. You can let you know, buddy. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but I can't hear him at all. It's just yeah, I don't know what you're saying. And I see everybody in the comments. What's going on, Elijah? Nobody's giving you silent treatment, buddy. We're just in a heated discussion. Shit's serious right now. Brian's frozen. That's how terrified he is of this new bill. He is frozen with fear.
Yeah, I think I'm going into rough territory. So I think we're gonna call it a night, guys. We started early today. We started at 6:30. Please let us know that you got the message. USI&r. Paint everything USI&r, red, white, and blue. Contact your senators. Get other people to join the fight. You guys have yourselves a great night. Have yourselves a great weekend. And again, don't take our freedom and our liberties for granted. They're being threatened. Jason, I'm out of here, brother.
Have a good night, buddy. Thanks for showing up, guys. Thanks for joining us. Send out those posts. Make that awareness. Let's say no, guys.